Tom here, FlipAnything USA. If you're first tuning in, first time here, look, I am someone that has been investing in real estate very successfully for many years. I'm not a real flashy looking guy, but I am a wealthy guy, and I'm the real deal, and I like sharing with people because I know just exactly what it's like starting with zero and trying to make more money. So today I'm going to share with you a little bit about how I stayed focused when I was younger and how I still do. I have the pleasure, I can lose a little more focus now than I used to, but when I was young, I was determined. I was going to make money, and I want to share with you how I stayed on target today. So today, the topic here, one of the things that was driving me as a young guy was money, women, and cars. That was my goals. Money, women, and cars. And pretty much in that priority. And I think I specifically did it at that time just because of that. So whatever your goals are, it's a good idea to keep focused. And that's what I want to tell you. I used to I would doodle cars. I would doodle pictures of homes that I'd like to have. I'd be drawing the pool in the backyard. I mean, I daydream my goals constantly. And you should do the same thing. But don't daydream your life away. You got to take action. That's number one. I was never lazy. I was determined, I was focused, and I worked. And I know a lot of you guys would like a mentor to hold your hand, but nobody's going to hold your hand. It doesn't work that way. Nobody's going to hold your hand. You can pay somebody to say, hey, attaboy, but believe me, that ain't going to get you there. You got to find that drive within yourself or you're not going to get there. You got to be self-driven. You know, you come in this world alone, you're going to go out alone. You got to be self-sufficient, okay? So keep that in mind. Maybe you got a wife or somebody or somebody that helps you. I've never been driven. I've never been driven that I need a partner. I do it all on my own, and I urge you, please find the strength within yourself to just be a one-man show. Work, or one-woman show, whatever. Okay, so back to this. Money, women, cars. That was my main goal when I was a young man, like most, I think, of everybody, okay, that's the young men. So in other goals, whatever goals you have, just write them down. So, write them down. Before they had iPhones and these smartphones that we use today, they had a thing called day timers. And basically, it was just a little pocket calendar. Mine was actually about that big. I had a 2-pager. I had started a cabinet shop, so I keep my appointments in there. But also, I wrote down every for sale sign, every address of every property that I had an interest in, and also when I was eating lunch or whatever, I'd start dreaming about that house, and I'd write it down. So you can do that in your smartphone. I don't know if it's even as good to have it in your smartphone, to be quite honestly, as it is to actually write it on a piece of paper. I'd say go ahead and keep a little memo pad anyways. It's easy to jot stuff down. The cameras today, of course, the advantage is you can take a picture of a house or whatever you're interested in. You can get the address in the street. Smartphones are great. I use them all the time. I take pictures of for sale signs and addresses and street signs. That's something that I do just naturally out of habit because I know it's in there. I'll circle back and I'll look it up. Okay, so back to goals. I say write them down. And goal reminders. Okay, goal reminders, that's a good one. Okay, so a goal reminder to me, okay, you want to stay on focus. Out of sight, out of mind, you've heard that. I believe that's true. So look here, money, women, cars, right? MoWoCa. Money, women, cars. So MoWoCa. And I used to have this word, MoWoCa, okay? That was like a reminder for me keeping on focus. M-O, money, W-O, women, C-A, cars. Money, women, cars. Because that's what I wanted. I wanted money, I wanted to have a nice girl, and I wanted to have a nice car. But number one, I wanted money because I knew that's what I needed, to be free, not to have to work, to have choices. And so I learned that early on because I come from a family, I was raised primarily by my father in a trailer park. Blast, best time ever. My dad loved me, great time. But we didn't have money, okay? So I suffered the not having money, and there's things that anybody that was raised without privilege of wealthy parents or even middle class parents, the struggles. the clothes aren't as good. There's some pain that goes with it. I had a great time. No problems, no complaints here. Made me what I am today, and I'm pretty happy with myself. So MoWoCa, that was the word that I created that represented my goals that kept me on track. Now, man or woman, whatever your goals are, I suggest MO be the beginning of your reminder word, because money is what gives you options to have. Well, it doesn't give you love, but it does give you cars and homes and vacations, okay? So think of a word, write it down, and make it yours. Make it yours. It doesn't have to, nothing you have to share. I'm sharing this now. This is 30 years old, okay? So, and it's not my goals today. Now it'd be probably, kids, okay? Because kids are all I care about. My main kids and my family. So family. So, but if you don't have money, make that part of your goal. Okay, so I talked about your goal reminders. Okay, prioritize. I kind of did that here. Money, women, cars. That was my priority. Prioritize in your mind what's important, because what you're going to have, what can happen is you can get some money and then you spend it, and now you're kind of wasting your seed money. Okay, I had a very strict rule. I wouldn't buy really anything that I couldn't make money with. You know, in other words, I didn't buy a lot of toys, you know, motorcycles and stuff. I didn't really have a lot of toys. I bought tools for my cabinet shop, tools that I could make money with. Everything I pretty much bought, I figured I could sell for more, or I could utilize to make money, and then that extended to things that I would buy. If I bought a motorcycle, it would be a good deal. It'd be something I could get on, maybe I could ride it for a little bit, and then I'd sell it. Same with a car. I went through probably, 15, 20 cars before I was 21 years old. So everything, the priority was money. It wasn't, oh, that's a cool car, I'm going to look good. No, it was, that's a good deal. I'm going to make money on that. And I'm kind of jumping around here, but one of my main things is I like to feel good. Feel good to me, that's money in the bank, okay? Looking good, you can look good and be broke, okay? So I like to look good, less worried about feeling good. Sorry, got that backwards. I like to feel good. I don't worry about looking good. I feel good when I have money in the bank. And so consider that in your goals. And then ultimately, if you do that, you prioritize, you have your goals in order, you work toward them, and guess what? You're going to achieve them. You absolutely will achieve them as long as you stay focused. I think people have a hard time staying focused. There's so many diversions and things that get in your way. You know, even when you get on the web or anything else, there's things that distract you, you know, but just consider prioritizing and a reminder word to keep you on track. I probably wrote that word down, thousands of times. I would write MoWoCa. It would be almost like a doodle, but I imprinted it in my mind. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. This is called a day timer. Okay, day timer. Before they had smartphones, I still had a cell phone, but it was a book, like a calendar, and I would take that book. In the back of that book, I had I had some empty pages. Pages that you could just write notes on and stuff. And this is really cool because I had written down Carrera. Carrera was one of the cars that I wanted. A Porsche, if I'm spelling that right. I wanted a Carrera, and I wanted a house. And I actually drew pictures in the back of that book. I would draw whatever my home I wanted it to look like. I even drew like a pool in the backyard, and a palm tree, all that sort of thing. I would draw these things because it always kept it in my mind, what I ultimately wanted. And so I had the car, nice car, and I had house, and I think I had at that time probably I wanted $100K in the bank. I wanted to have $100,000 in the bank, which was a really lofty goal at the time. I'm talking about 19 years old, okay? So I would always write these things down and doodle. Well, these day timers are a year-by-year booklet, and I probably got 15, 20 years of those. And it was funny because I'd been keeping a day timer for about 5 years. And I started, making room in my book. It was in a leather-covered book. Well, I go to the back and I'm looking at my old notes and old phone numbers that were written down, making sure I put those in my new day timer that I had, that year. And I go back there to look to make sure I got all the same, phone numbers and contacts that I want to keep. I'm having to handwrite them over. And guess what? I stumble upon a page where I had drawn a Carrera, which I can't draw very good, and I'm going to find it. I think I still have this, and I had a picture of a Carrera, a nice car I wrote. I had kind of a picture of a house, and I had this 100K goal all written down in the back of this notebook when I was going to transfer to my new book. And I'm thinking, I can't believe it. I'm looking at it. I'd already bought that dream home that I drew. It was probably the 5th house that I owned. In fact, the 5th house, the home that I finally moved into was the 5th house that I bought. I think it was the 5th house. It wasn't the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. It was the 5th house. The other ones were just simply turning to make money. So I'm flipping back in it, but I think it's a testament to how powerful it is to write your goals down and to always, reaffirm them with a word like MoWoCa. Nobody taught me this. It's just something that happened. But I'm flipping back in that book, and I see a picture of a Carrera that I had hand drawn. I saw a house that I had drawn with a pool, and here I was sitting. I'd already bought and sold. The Carrera was gone. I'd already bought it, drove it, had my fun, and got rid of it. And then I find this, and I'm going, I forgot that I'd ever written those goals down. I'd actually forgotten that I'd written them, drew them down in such detail in the back of my book. And now here, car had already come and gone. I still had the beautiful home. 100K I was probably worth pushing $1 million by that time at 25. So I didn't have it in the bank, but I probably had almost that in the bank. But I had much more than that already in rentals and in stuff that I had bought and that I was turning in through my portfolio of property. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. Really, what I advise you to do is think of a word that represents your goals. Begin it with MO for money. My suggestion, because I think that's the key thing you want to get. And then, consider that, clothing and stuff. Look, I look like a plumber's helper. I know that, okay? That's because I'm always ready to work. I can throw stuff in the back of my truck, but it's because I started. I mean, I've been wearing T-shirts and Levi's and flip-flops for almost my whole life. And I'm still very comfortable in those clothes, but it's also, if somebody needs help, I pull up to a property, I'm ready to go. I'm never wearing clothes so nice, or rarely am I ever wearing clothes so nice that I can't pitch in and help the guys that work for me, or something that's going on, or a tenant, or anything else. So consider that. Clothes, I know women particularly, you guys can spend money on clothes like crazy. I don't know how you do it, but I could never spend that kind of money on clothes and feel good. So, like I say, I more, back to my feel good, look good thing, feeling good, that's when I shine my most. I probably have the biggest smile in the room, okay? That's how you can look good, by feeling the best inside. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today is write down a goal of some sort, your words, write down your goals that you want, maybe 2 or 3, and the money being the number 1, and then you're going to consider more and more how you're going to achieve it. Also, don't, like I say, hold back on expenses. Don't spend money on things that can't reproduce more money. Decent shoes and pants and clothes, all that stuff. Don't think that you need to look particularly good to buy a piece of property. Chances are, when you buy something, it's what's in here. It's the content that you convey when you talk to somebody that they care about. The face-to-face. Clothes don't matter. It's what's inside. Remember that. So that's it for now. FlipAnything USA. Look, share this with your friends and family. People that will help keep you on track. That'll say, hey, did you get a house? Did you flip a place yet? That way it serves as a reminder to let you know, oh yeah, that's right, I'm doing that. So you stay concentrated on getting ahead and making money. You can help motivate each other, but don't rely on somebody for motivation. You got to find that within yourself. So anyways, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please, FlipAnything USA, YouTube, just subscribe. I'm not selling any mentorship. I'm not selling any books. I'm just sharing. I'm at that point here. I've already achieved more than I ever expected, okay? So I'm happy to share. You'll see that's kind of what happens. You'll see guys like Jack Welch and other people that have had tremendous success in business. You finally get to a stage where, you know what, your standards of living aren't going to get any better than they are today. Mine aren't. I'd like a helicopter. Can't quite afford a helicopter, but I'd love to fly a helicopter, but it's becoming less important to me all the time. But what I'm trying to get you on is now I can just enjoy sharing, Ultimately, I want my boys to follow this. I have 4 kids, 2 in college, and I have 2 younger boys. I'm concerned that in another 10 years, I may not have the capacity. I got Alzheimer's runs in my family. So I'm afraid that I may not be able to convey to my boys in 10 years what I can convey today. So I appreciate your comment and feedback. Please ask me questions. I want to be very comprehensive to convey this to you because I'm leaving a roadmap, a video roadmap for my own kids to follow. My girls, when they're not so busy with college, they can work on it. My boys, maybe they'll follow my footsteps and just become entrepreneurs. Maybe they'll skip college, maybe they'll go to college. I don't know. But either way, they're going to have options because they're going to have money. And not inherited money. I'm going to have them make their own. But anyways, that's it for now. And thanks. I appreciate you, being involved and sharing your comments and asking questions. It's very important to me. I really want to make it clear. I'm not interested in mentoring. I'm not interested in partnering with anybody. So I just don't look for it. I'm not offering mentorship. Okay, so that's it. But just you don't need it anyways. You need role models. I can be a role model, but I'm not a mentor. So that's it for now. FlipAnything USA, and I appreciate you tuning in and sharing.